So they go into the final game all tied up. The Soviets have scored 27 goals in 7 games, and Canada has scored 25. So if you had been writing the script, it couldn't have produced a more dramatic and exciting final. Tonight we are making hockey history, and the teams and fans are really up for this one. Brian Conacher will again do the color. Brian, I wouldn't miss this one for all the tea in China. How about you?
Well, Foster, it's no longer an 8-game series. It's down to a 1-game series. Team Canada in the past few games has neutralized any conditioning advantage the Soviet team might have had in the earlier games through a close-checking, physical style of play. Both teams are tired from the constant heavy hitting, and I expect both of them to play a close-checking type of game while waiting for scoring chances. If it comes down to one key factor in determining the winner tonight, I'd have to say that the team with the hot goaltender will win this 8th and decisive game.
Two teams are coming out on the ice, each team having a partner, and then they take over on the blue line. And I note that the Canadian team are carrying white Stetsons. But the presentations will be made, and then the national anthems, and then the players introduced after that. The air in the Moscow arena here is tense as we get ready for this 8th and final game of the series.
The international hockey match between Team Canada and the Soviet Union is declared open.
Presentations will begin now. The first being with Charlie Hay, President of Hockey Canada, and he will present a totem pole to the Soviet official, Colonel Georgy Mozilov, President of the Soviet Ice Hockey Federation. Alan Eagleson there, along with Joe Kriska, the president of the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association.
That Howell Foster was for the V for victory sign that Gary Bergman waved over his head as he was introduced. Again, F.Esposito not taking any chances. He hangs onto the boards when he's introduced. And Foster, the white Stetsons, of course, are from the Stampede City, Calgary.
This is Game 8 of the Canada-Soviet series from Moscow.
Both teams have just made two changes, Foster. For Team Canada, the most noticeable one, Ken Dryden replaces Tony Esposito in goal to start this critical game, and F.Mahovlich replaces Bill Goldsworthy as an extra forward. For the Soviets, they've only made one change. They've dropped number 5, Ragulin, the big defenseman who's supposed to have a sore leg. They've replaced him with number 17, Valery Harlamov, unquestionably one of their star players.
Rudolph Batya of Czechoslovakia and Joe Kompalla of West Germany are the two referees, and they nearly caused a riot in the discussions prior to the game as to whether they would be allowed to officiate. That is the West Germans. But they finally resolved it around noon today. The start of the game was very much in doubt there up until noon. However, the teams are out on the ice now, ready to start. F.Esposito was going to start at center ice. It was thought that Pat Stapleton might be able to play, and Talon was dressed. But apparently Stapleton's ankle stood up, and he's going to start. Tretiak is back in goal for the Soviet. They're playing the entire 8-game series with him in goal. F.Esposito at center, Cornwallis on the right. As the puck is dropped and shot up to the line, here's Anderson going up alone quickly, and Dryden had to stop a hot one. A pass comes right back near the blue line. The shot is stopped and knocked out at center ice. Vasiliev going back to get it. Puck is knocked over on the left wing to center ice, and the Canadian team were nearly caught there right after the face-off. A long pass over there. Parisi going in, tried to lay over a pass. Esposito going into the corner. Petrov trying to cover him as the Soviet are changing immediately after they could get a chance at center ice. A quick shot is wide as Mihailov let a drive go from the right wing. A cleared pass. The Canadians failed to get a pass at center. Vasiliev hit Petrov, and the Soviet with Mihailov playing it over on the far side at center. Mihailov overskated him. Leadoff follows, took a shot, and it's called on the offside at the Canadian blue line.
In talking to Johnny Esau just before this game started, he's back in Canada, in Toronto. He says the fan reaction and anticipation for this game is nothing short of phenomenal in Canada today. I understand that many of the school children have had the afternoon off, and I'm sure a lot of the teachers have probably taken it off anyways.
Well, there's one thing about the Canadian supporters here in Moscow. There are 3,000 of them, and I think they've made more noise than any 16,000 I've ever heard in Canada. They're really hooping it up and giving the team every support possible. They've been in here for the last hour, and they must be just about worn out by now. They've played a minute of the first period, no score in the game, as the Soviet with Anderson failed to get anywhere. Yakushev couldn't get anywhere. Lyapkin, 25, goes into the corner. Gilbert's after him. Rattel out there on the forward line with Д.Халл. Rattel stole the puck from Vasiliev. Maltsev took it from him to Harlamov, coming up alone. Pass back to Mikulov. A loose puck in front, and the shot goes wide. Here's another drive from close in, and it's knocked out by Д.Халл back to the Soviet line. Harlamov has returned to the lineup as an extra forward. He was injured for the last game. Now Lechenko at center. Shot it into the corner. Dryden stopped it back of the goal. Esposito is the backup goalkeeper. A quick pass blocked by Mikulov. Mikulov cleared from the side. It goes back to the blue line to Sagantov. White stopped it. A deflection out to center ice. Henderson goes up with Ellis on the right, and the pass failed to get there. Maltsev with Mikulov turning. It slides near the Soviet goal, and Maltsev now has it at his own blue line, number 10 at center, and the Soviet fans, there's a dive. There was a real dive there. There wasn't a quick call, but there'll be a penalty, and that's the first penalty of the game. With the score, Canada nothing, and the Soviets nothing. This is game 8 from Moscow. Bill White off for tripping at 2:25. The Soviets have the odd man when the Soviet player Conquena still there, even though Bill White hardly touched him.
Penalties could be a key factor in this game, and it's such a close checking game, and where a break is going to make the difference, penalties could cost you dearly.
From the face-off, Soviet got the draw, but forced back to center. Vasiliev over to Lyapkin, 25. At center ice ahead to Yakushev, their leading scorer with 5 goals in the series. Henderson is the leading scorer of the entire series with 6 goals. Still Esposito is tied with Yakushev with 5 apiece. Yakushev now cutting in front of his own goal, and P.Mahovlich drapes himself on him, and there's going to be a penalty there. P.Mahovlich checks and is given a hooking penalty, and Canada will play 2 men short. With the score, Canada nothing, and the Soviets nothing. This is game 8 from Moscow. Now Canada's 2 men short, with P.Mahovlich off for holding. Yakushev tried to come in, back to Shadron, up to the blue line. Lyapkin played it over on the far side. They still pass it to Lyapkin. Here's the shot, and it bounded off Shadron, the Soviet player, and went into the crowd.
With 2 men short here, Foster, it's virtually impossible to cover the whole ice surface in your defensive zone. So what you have to do is set up a triangular pattern and keep the puck out of the prime scoring area.
105 and 1 penalty and 137 in the other for Canada. As Canada's playing 2 men short, Lyapkin over on the far side of the shot is stopped and drive. They bang it in.
The first shot doesn't go in, and Yakushev parks himself right on the goal mouth, picks up the rebound, and bangs it home. The leading scorer in the series now with 10 points. That gives Yakushev his 6th goal of the series.
Yakushev,
a good play by the Soviet here. They set up good puck control. They have Canada at their mercy. Now Yakushev moves in, parks himself and hits the post, and he banks in the rebound.
And now the Canadian team 1 man short with P.Mahovlich still in the box. So they capitalize on that penalty. And that last penalty to P.Mahovlich was for hooking. Line back into the Soviet zone. Here's another penalty being called. This time the Soviet get it. And it's Petrov is going off for holding. With the score, Soviets 1, Canada no score. This is game 8 from Moscow. They're 5 aside.
The audio and the video trouble we're experiencing is occurring at the Moscow end, and it's temporary, so please stand by and do not adjust your set.
On the goal by Yakushev, who scored with Canada 2 men short, a change of player.
It'll be critical, Foster, in this game that Team Canada, that all the players keep cool heads out there, because penalties are going to play a decisive factor in this game, and so Team Canada has to stay on the ice.
Bill Esposito out there with Parisi as the puck goes back to Vikolov. Maltsev takes his pass. He's knocked over by, it'll be a penalty there to Canada. And just 1 penalty after another in this game. Parisi knocked the Soviet player over, seemed to get the elbow into it. And as a result, we'll get an elbowing penalty, and Canada will play 2 men short, the Soviet 1. Racy is
somewhat incensed at getting this penalty. He has no respect for the referee, and he could get himself right up the gate. What happens, Foster, in this type of situation? Because it's a close checking game, each player wants to make absolutely sure that his man, his responsibility in the ice doesn't get away from him. And this is one of the reasons there's a lot of hooking, tripping, and so on. Parise is totally incensed at this call. and he is tempted to swing his stick at the referee on a couple of occasions. And I think he's going to talk himself right out of this game. I think what he's incensed about, Foster, is that Petrov was standing right beside the referee on the opposite side of the ring, and he gestured to the referee that should have been a penalty, and then his arm went up. It was a very questionable call, because as I say, Parise and all of these players are just playing their man extra closely, and when they fall down, they don't feel they deserve the penalty.
Still waiting to, while F.Esposito speaks to the two referees, I'm afraid this kind of officiating is going to cause more than one incident before this game is over. But Parise seemed to lose his head completely there when he threatened the referee with his stick. But he didn't swing it, but he certainly indicated he might.
Well, as you pointed out before the game started, there was a great controversy in the last day and a half in Moscow as to who would referee this game. Team Canada, after they had the two West German referees 2 games ago, suggested that they definitely would play if they refereed the game. The Soviets, unfortunately, had the choice of referees, and they were their choice.
The ruling is that Parise is out of the game, and that will likely mean a 10-minute penalty before he is allowed to be replaced. But he is out of the game. As far as we can learn in this controversial situation here, Harry Sinden threw a bench or something on the out on the ice, and somebody else threw a chair, and in the meantime, the players just skated all around. Not a 10-minute misconduct, as well as the original penalty. Interference was the first call, then a 10-minute misconduct, and then he was put out of the game. So it's a very severe penalty to Team Canada, and they'll have 2 men in the penalty box for the second time in the game. And the Soviets scored the first and only goal of the game so far at 3:34, Yakashev, while White and P.Mahovlich were in the penalty box.
Foster, I can sympathize with all the Team Canada members and Harry Sinden, but there's still over 15 minutes left in this game, and cool heads just have to prevail, because there's no question that the game will be finished and those referees will be there the whole time. Here's how the original penalty came up on Parise. As you see, he's trying to check his man very closely, and he gets his legs sort of between him and gets in his way a little bit. But I really feel that this is how the game is going to be played in a close checking game, and that was a fairly severe call for that type of an incident.
They have 15:50 left in the first period, and the game has almost reached a boiling point as the two teams just skate around the ice. They're still talking to the two referees, who seem to be a little hesitant and upset at the time.
There has been a lot of discussion in the last day as to whether there would be an incident in this last game. Because the 4 games have been so closely contested, everybody felt that in light of what happened to Gary Bergman in that fight with the kicking and the spearing, that it wouldn't take too much to set the sparks of flame in a game here. And unfortunately, I believe for Team Canada, the sparks have flown early, and there's still a lot of hockey to be played, and if they can collect themselves, I don't believe this one goal is going to beat them tonight. A great controversy going down there on the bench. The players some of the fans, but there's no way that the fans are going to get towards the bench because there have to be at least 100 policemen guarding Team Canada's bench from any spectator that might want to venture in that direction.
The scoring play by Yakashev brought him up even with Henderson. Both of them now have 6 goals. That's really what counts, because on these assists in international hockey, you can't tell really whether the player deserves them or not. They seem to be very indifferent to assists over here. They're finally getting things cooled out a bit. A few towels have been thrown at the officials, especially Joe Kompalla, the West German. But they had this tremendous build-up the last day or so on who would officiate, and it almost tipped off what might happen tonight. The feeling was running so high. So now Parisi is out of the game, and the Canadian team will have to get used to penalties here, the way they're going. They have 2 men in the box, the Soviet 1, and from the face-off, Vikolov comes up over the line. Cleared it on the side. He hangs on to it. Back to Luchenko. Back over on that far side. He still jiggles it around. Back to Luchenko. Same spot here. Fake shot. Now it finally goes, and Dryden kicked it out. Lapointe shoots it down the ice. Soviets have 1 man in the penalty box, and Canada 2. Puck is back in the goal. Luchenko clearing to Maltsev at center ice. Over to Luchenko. And it's offside as Vikolov went in on the left wing ahead of the play. 15-12 left in the first period. 1-0 for the Soviet Union. 1:22 left in one penalty and 12 seconds left in the other for Canada. 56 for the Soviets. Puck goes back to Yakashev, the most dangerous player out there for the Soviet. Soviet player played it over to Shadron. Shadron passed back. The Afghan gets ready, shoots, drop it, knocked that one down. And the Canadian team lob it out. P.Mahowicz breaks down the right side on getting the pass. Comes from the side, centered out. Frank Mahovlich tried to go in and failed to get a shot on goal. A jamming session on the far wing, and the shot went wide. Yakashev is stopped by P.Mahowicz, but the puck goes up to Shadron. He's alone across the line into the corner. Shadron still has it, played it back, and it rolled to one side. Soviet had it momentarily. Savard stopped, and it goes to Shadron, and the puck can escape with Savard going over on that left side, being chased back. The Soviet at full strength. Canada a man short. Down the left wing for Canada, center ice, over the line, in on the defense, knocked over. Lapointe tried to get through. A quick rush, a high lob to Blinoff, and the drive was deflected. Canada recovering. Ellis shooting it down the ice. And it falls on the icing call.
Parise is going to be a big loss to Team Canada this game because, of course, he's been getting that puck out to F.Esposito. He's been playing very well along the boards, and, of course, he is exceptionally tough in the corners. So Jean-Paul Parise is going to be a very difficult player for Coach Harry Sinden to replace in this game.
I assume the threat to the referee with Parise threatening to slash the referee was the reason he was put out of the game. But he had a minor, a misconduct, and then was put right out. A 1-0 for the Soviets. They have 13:44 left in the first period. And this is really life and death here tonight, the way they're playing. Lots of time taken on the change of players. Lutsenko is on that key point. Mikulov comes out, number 18. Maltsev is centering. Harlamov is on the left wing. He was injured for the last game. Puck goes into the corner. Bill White played it on the right side. Shot it down. Henderson is covered. Interfered with all the way down there by Sagankov. They jam into the corner. And here goes the penalty. No question about that. With the score, the Soviets won and Canada no score. This is game 8 from Moscow. Sagankov is off for interference. Here's a pass back to Park. Cleared on the right side to Ellis. Right in front of the net for F.Esposito as Canada at full strength for a change. And the Soviet a man short. Canadians having a chance. Here's a shot. Right on. Quick check. They bang it in. F.Esposito knocked in the rebound. And the score is tied. F.Esposito from Park. And that ties the score.
I'm not sure if we won't see number 3, Lutsenko, help F.Esposito put that in the net. Tretiak makes a good first save, but he can't clear the puck away. His defenseman comes in to help him and sweeps the puck, I think, right back into the net with the help of F.Esposito. Now watch Lutsenko. F.Esposito going back into front of the net, parking himself, and Lutsenko, the first shot's taken now. Now Lutsenko, number 3, helps F.Esposito put it in the net.
F.Esposito from Park at 6:45 of the first period to tie the score. Sagankov was off at 6:28, so Canada hit very quickly on that play. F.Esposito was parked right in front of the net there to take advantage. And it's a 1-all tie. And the Canadian team has cooled out a bit after that rather wild first 3.5 minutes. A quick pass at center ice. Canada on the attack. Rattel tried his shot, goes after it again when it hit a skate. He's bumped by Vasiliev against the board. He's over by the Canadian section. Anderson is given a jolt. The puck rolls back to the defense. Vasiliev shot it out on the right wing, and F.Esposito drove one wide. Rattel missed it. Now Stapleton took a shot. Another drive is wide there. Yakushev bringing it on the left wing was squeezed out. A 1-1 tie. Liapkin, 25 with Maltsev. Maltsev at center. Over the line. Stopped before he could get through. It's batted out to center. Cornwallis went after a third time. Lutsenko shoots it into the Canadian zone. Bill White back to get it. Bill White allows F.Esposito to pass it back to him. A rink-wide pass to the far wing. F.Esposito going in on that left side. He shoots. Tretiak had a bounce in front of the net. And he went down on his knees as it fell to the ice. And that was a close call.
Ivan Cornwallis picks this rebound off Tretiak's glove right out of the air and almost gets Canada their second goal. Foster, I'm glad to see that Canada has scored relatively early in this game, because in a tight checking game like this, it's very important to get that first goal early, because you're always wondering whether you can score in a tight checking game like this. And Canada now is right into this game. If they keep their composure, they can take this game right away from the Soviets.
By scoring that goal, F.Esposito has now moved into the tie with Yakushev and Paul Henderson. Each have scored 6 goals in the series.
Again, the coaches are trying to play a little bit of chess amongst each other as far as matching lines. I'm not sure who has the home advantage. I would imagine the Soviets do in this last game. So they'll get the last change, which means Harry Sinton will be allowed to change his line just once, and then he has to stick with it.
Gilbert and Д. Халл along with Rattel. The Canadian forward line. Pass back to Park. The shot hit the Canadian player. The shot by Gilbert just trickled off Tretiak's glove. They keep it in. Canada pressing hard. Lutsenko back to the net. It's hit by Д.Халл. It hit a skate. The Soviets clear out to Nikolov. Over to Harlamov. Harlamov closing in. Passes to Luchenko in front of the net. And he couldn't control the puck to get a shot away. Luchenko fired one that hit a leg. Taken back to the goal. Park failed to get it loose. It comes to the wing. Д.Халл lobbed it down the ice. It's sliding slowly. It won't go. And Luchenko had to go back and take it. Henderson out there with Clark and Ellis. Park broke up the rush. A pass over to Ellis on the right wing. He lost it. Yakushev coming in and drilled one about 3 feet wide. Goes all the way back into the Soviet zone. A 1-all tie at the 10:52 mark. Slider with Bergman clearing it right onto Yakushev's stick. Yakushev skating to the blue line at center ice. Over on the wing, crossing the line, an offside. And it's called at the Canadian blue line. A 1-all tie, 10:43 remaining. Yakushev, number 15, really one of the big stars of the Soviet club. Lapointe and Savard are moving out on the Canadian defense. Gadrin is an added starter on this change, and the Canadian team elect to send out F.Espozito at center with Ellis and Henderson. So Clark has been relieved for the moment at center ice. Soviet coming up at center, a long pass. Yakushev lost his stick. Play is called, and there's going to be a penalty call against Canada for interference. And it's P.Mahovlich who is talking to Ellis as Ellis goes over there by the penalty box, and he'll get the interference penalty. Canada will play a man short again. Ellis for interference. And the time is 9:27.
Coming up at our first intermission, Howie Meeker and Bill Good will look at minor hockey development in Moscow. Bill Good will also chat with Gary Alcorn of Hockey Canada. Pat Marsden will talk with some of hockey's top authorities about this unique series.
Leanoff goes in on that left wing, number 9, going back to the Canadian goal. Still has the puck. He hangs on to it, clears the side, and the drive by Petrov went wide. Dryden was down on the play. There's interference by the Soviet player as he didn't have his stick, and here he gets it. No question about that. It was Petrov who kept jamming the Canadian player in on the boards when he didn't have his stick, and Petrov goes off for interference. So now there'll be 5 aside. And this first period has been a story of penalty after penalty.
Without a stick, you can see Petrov put the big bear hug on F.Espozito as he goes along the board.
From the face-off, the puck goes to center ice. Vasiliev cleared to Mikhailov, teaming up with Leanoff, who goes ahead of the play, and the shot failed to go over Dryden, who was down on the play and more or less out of it if he had been able to lob it high.
To round out our first intermission, we'll have Howie Meeker along as well with some more of his interesting observations.
They're 5 aside out there. Canada to the left, Soviet to the right. 9:57 left in the first period, a 1-1 tie. Into the corner, Canada in possession. A lob pass as F.Espozito pulled away from Leanoff. Got over the line, trying to kick the puck. Vasiliev recovered, passed ahead. Down the far side for Leanoff, closing with Mikhailov. He went back to the net, centered it. It comes in front, a shot, and Dryden grabbed that one with Mikhailov, cutting right in front of Dryden after Vasiliev had fired the shot.
Dryden looks sharp on this play. He catches the puck. He's not absolutely sure where it is, but he made a good save, and not taking any chances, he smothered the puck.
Another change of players, and they're certainly frequent, and the hitting is hard, and the tempers have cooled out a bit after a wild first 3.5 minutes when Parisi was put out of the game. A cleared pass goes into the corner. Stapleton over to Henderson to Bill White. Bill White at center. Across the line, Vasiljevic took him out. Clark goes into the corner, squeezed out on the boards. The pass comes over to Yakushev, who couldn't control it. Clark gets it back to the blue line. Stapleton's roller bounced. It's out to center ice with White. 17 for Canada, playing it to Stapleton. A long shot is knocked down up before it went over the line. Yakushev goes up over the line. He's hard man to stop. Bill White rode him off. It goes back to the goal as the Soviet fans whistle. That's how they show their displeasure. Clark going in back to the net. Played it into the corner. Stapleton starting down that far wing over to Bill White. Bill White in on the right side. He hit Tretiak to the chest, gets that puck again. Clark took a swing at it. The puck was hit in the air and knocked out into the center ice area by the Soviet player, Shadrin. 8:29 left in the first period. A 1-1 tie. Yakushev having scored for the Soviet at 3:34, while Canada had 2 men in the penalty box. And then F.Espozito tied it up from Park at 6:45 with the off just getting an interference penalty. The face-off will be in front of the Soviet defense. F.Espozito with Shadrin. Comes back, a shot went wide. It's off the boards. Park coming in from the side, passed it to the corner. Cornwallis centered it out. Here's a shot. It hit a body. Frank Mahovlich couldn't get hold of it. And the Canadians drive it down the ice, and the Soviets are back at full strength. A quick pass is intercepted. Maltsev going in on the left wing. The puck went high in the air, goes back to the net. Bishikov centered it. Here's a shot. And Dryden seemed to get his hand on that one. Very close. A long pass goes over the line. Canada intercepts. Frank Mahovlich at center, going in on the left wing. Couldn't control the puck. Lecheko took him in. Here's Park shooting, and it's wide of the net. Another pass right in front. A scramble, and they roll it off to the wing as Bergman tapped it to the side, and bodies are going in all directions. Quick pass on the right side. The Soviet on a two-man break. Maltsev was going down on this left side. The pass never reached him. Bishikov is checked by F.Espozito. Mikhailov stole the puck, goes in on the wing, and Mikhailov was knocked over. There's going to be another Canadian penalty, interference, and that's the favorite call by the officials. This time, Batya is calling the interference penalty to Cornwallis. Cornwallis of Canada gets an interference penalty. 12:51 the time.
It seems that any time Soviet players fall down and look back over the shoulder to the referee, that they can almost entice the referee into giving an interference or a hooking or a holding penalty.
12:51, Cornwallis for interference. That's been the popular call all the way through this penalty-studded first period of play. 7:09 left in the first period, a 1-all tie. Face-off in Canada's zone. Maltsev knocked it back to the blue line to Lecheko. Lecheko going into the corner. Played it back on the boards out to Sagankov. A shot went wide. Harlamov getting it again on that far wing. Passing back to Lecheko. Here's another shot. He scored!
Line, and I think it went all the way. That's the shot that will kill you. The defenseman standing right at the top of the slot, dead center in the ice, and he lets a low shot go which Dryden had no chance on. Look at the people screening him. Right in the net, Dryden had no chance on it. It sets up and gets it back to that center man. Luchenko lets a terrific shot go. Now they set it up again. They're looking again for that man in the middle, and here comes the shot right through a maze of players.
Here's the mix-up near the Canadian bench. Harlamov was knocked over in front of the Canadian bench and seems to be injured, or at least he's indicating he was hurt. Well, just how he was, I don't know. He was skating back when it was just a crowded session there, nothing else happened. Rattel is going to center ice, and Petrov is coming out speaking to Bobrov as they delay the start. Now the Soviets lead 2-1 with 6:42 left in the first period. That goal was scored by Luchenko, a shot about 50 feet from inside the blue line. Mikhailov was stopped at center ice. Zagankov cleared it. It goes loose again. Zagankov comes up to get it himself. Is partially stopped by Rattel, with Mikhailov carrying back into his own zone, shooting at the center ice. Dennis Hall took a shot wide. Gilbert rushed in but couldn't get it. Altsev at center ice, coming on the left wing. Pass back to Mikhailov. In back to the goal. Goes to the other side. And tap back to Zagankov. Shot around back to the net. Centered it right to the Canadian player. Dennis Hall going down with Bergman, and he elected to fire the shot from a long way out, nowhere near the net. Puck is back at center. Savard back to Bergman, to Dennis Hall, back to Savard. Savard at center ice, cleared over the line, closing in. Rattel tried to pass to Dennis Hall. He missed it. He went into the corner. Zagankov covers, and the play is stopped to the right of the Soviet goal. 5:31 left. Luchenko, number 3, you saw on the screen, as they change players again.
Foster, when the Soviets have that power play advantage, they're looking for 2 men. One between the hash mark, between the circles, and the other one up near the blue line, in the same line with the goal. Dead in center.
Soviets leading 2-1. 5:29 left in the period. Here's a shot from way out. Kutchak grabbed that one, was down on his knees. Ellis was close in there with Clark. This is Clark, Henderson, and Ellis out there. The point, and Savard playing up for Canada. Shadron got the draw. It goes back to Vasiliev. Henderson broke it up. Clark fighting for it with Shadron, who covered him against the boards. And the play is stopped. Yakushev, number 15, is over on the left wing. Mishkov is on the other. Shadron is ready for the face-off. Canada playing every man up. Rattel taking the face-off. Got the draw back to Savard. Savard faked the shot, turns, gets in front of the net. He shoots. Oh, that was wide. Now Anderson on that far side, ahead to Yakushev at center. Down on into the corner. Centered it. Henderson blocked it. To Clark. Here's Ellis on the right side. He bounced off his stick. Recovered and shot out to center to Yakushev. His pass is partially knocked down. It goes loose again. And Clark to Henderson, who was checked before he could really get going. Checking is very close. The loose puck is near the Soviet defense. Henderson blocked it at center. The point drives a long one that bounced. Kutchak covered it. Lyapkin is blocked on the boards as 3 of them jam against the boards. And the players seem to be cooling out a bit as far as tempers were concerned. But they certainly started off in a storm in the first 3.5 minutes. And the Canadian team lost the services of Parisi on a series of penalties. P.Esposito ready for the face-off. Cornwallis on the right side, F.Mahovlich on the left. Gusev trying to go out on that far wing, lobbed it to center ice. Bill White shot it in. F.Esposito was trapped before he could get back onside. 4:11 remaining in the first period. 2-1 for the Soviets. Soviets leading 2-1. Goals by Yakushev and Luchenko. The last one, a long shot, but it was screened. Dryden couldn't see it. Here's P.Mahovlich going in. A hard drive on that left wing. Cornwallis couldn't get the rebound. The Soviets break up a high lob with Klinov on the left. Klinov going right in. Passed it instead of shooting and blew a great scoring opportunity. Sometimes you can pass too often. Cornwallis goes in on the left side. His shot is away wide. Klinov took it again to center ice. Over the line, turned around. Esposito clearing too far for Cornwallis. Gusev goes in back of the net. P.Mahovlich fell when he stopped the Soviet player Gusev, and he just stayed on top of the puck. Dennis Hull, Rattel, and Gilbert going out for Canada. Park and Bergman will be the defense. Soviets leading 2-1, 3:25 left in the first period. And if anything, it's really been a tough struggle out there all the way. A long shot by Dennis Hull. He goes after the rebound. Zagankov beat him to it. Maltsev from the corner shoots it to center ice and went off Bergman's skate. A pass to Gilbert, who couldn't get past center ice. Another try by Park. They're closing in. Rattel to Park. Right in. He scores! Park from Rattel. And Canada tied it up. Park from Rattel for Canada.
This is a beautiful two-way play by Jean Rattel and Brad Park. And you could tell that they're teammates because they knew exactly what they were doing. Rattel slipped the puck through to Park, and Park buried it in the far corner of the net. A great goal for Team Canada by Brad Park. Out of the end zone, we see it set up. Team Canada gets control. A good move. Now Park makes the initial move, gets it off to Rattel. Rattel gives it back, and he beats Tretiak cleanly.
Park and Rattel went in there like a well-oiled machine. And Park caught the top corner to beat Tretiak, and it's all tied up again, 2-all. Canada 2, the Soviets 2. Puck is shot to the Soviet zone. Yakushev at his own blue line, playing it over on that right wing to Addison. Petrov on the left side didn't follow through. A quick pass, Clark. Cleared over on the left side at center ice. Lapointe going in over the line. And Ellis was called on the offside. 2:35 remaining. Park is on the bench there. See, he has kind of a satisfied look there. Bergman is sitting beside him. From the face-off, the puck goes into the Soviet zone. Lyapkin after it, 25, back of the net, out to Shadron on the right side to Addison at center. Addison over the line, pass back to Shadron. His roller went right across the goal mouth. No steam behind it. A lob pass comes all the way back to the Soviet zone. Vasiliev tried to make the pass. Petrov now at center ice. Here's a long shot. Dryden knocked that one down with his glove, fed it to the corner to Clark. Henderson, Clark, and Ellis out there. The pass is blocked at center ice. Lyapkin going in, fake the move. There's a shot. Dryden covered the short side when Savard was moved out of position. A pass to Ellis, to Clark, back to Ellis. Here's his shot. And it was dead on there as Vassiliev tried to block him. A high lob down the far side. Lost it at the defense by being a little too fancy. We understand Hull was also given an assist on that last score by Canada. Park for Rattel and Hull. A long shot goes into the crowd and a wild scramble to pick up the puck. A 2-all tie with 1:20 left in the first period.
It appears so far in this game, Foster, with 1:20 left in the first period, that when Team Canada is playing the Russians even at 6 men aside, Team Canada is a better hockey team. When they get the penalties or they go a man short, then they get themselves in trouble.
Ready for the face-off in the Canadian zone. And Stapleton played it cautiously, but not out. It's batted in there by Petrov to Blinov. Blinov back to the goal. Still has it. Overskated it. Gets it again. Bill White trying to block him. It's back to the net. Right covered the short side. Mihailoff tried to scoop it. And Stapleton was giving him a couple of shots. 1:01 left in the first period. A 2-all tie. Face-off is being brought out. Side the Canadian line. There's a look at one of the officials there, Joe Kompalla, who's been really under fire. He's from West Germany. He caused one of the big arguments before the game started. The Canadians didn't want either of the West German referees. A quick pass is intercepted at center ice. Blinov, weaving a bit at center, is stopped on the third try. He's trying it again, number 9, over on that right wing. The lob pass comes right back off the skate, but it was offside again. And the Soviets are passing themselves dizzy and missing some great scoring chances.
And there's a good look at the Soviet crowd. And there's the big Canadian flag coming out of that crowd with the Go Canada Go chant. Mission possible. Anything's possible, Foster.
Yeah, this is quite a dramatic struggle here. It's got everything. Tension. Of course, the Parisi incident nearly set the place on fire here. But they've cooled out and they're back to playing hockey. F.Espozito now at center ice. Ellis is on right wing, so the Canadian team are still juggling their lines. And P.Mahowicz is over on that left wing. P.Mahowicz tried to slash that puck out. Maltsev tried it, Park lost it, and it's now recovered by P.Mahowicz, who centered right on to Petrov's stick, and a hard shot. Dryden covered the short side as the Canadian team are a little lax and having difficulty getting that puck clear. They're not making sure getting it out of their own zone.
Dryden is sharp tonight, Foster. That was an exceptional save he made. The quick glove was up there, and he robbed Petrov of a good scoring chance.
17 seconds remaining in the first period. There's a trip. Bergman was upset. He upset Maltsev. A roller comes right back out to center ice. Gusev, number 2 for the Soviets. Waiting with 4 seconds left. It goes into the corner. It's taken in back to the net, and the siren goes, and that ends the first period with the score Canada 2 and the Soviets 2. This is game 8 from Moscow. And incidentally, of the 8 penalties in that first period, 5 of them were for interference. So on the calls, you really can't go on what the actual offense is, or foul. The puck is now from the face-off into the Soviet zone. Vasiliev cleared in front of his own net. It's grabbed off by Henderson momentarily. Yakushev comes away on the right wing, closes in with his shot wide. It bounced in front of the net. Shattersky scores! Shatteras got that loose puck. And that put the Soviet one up there when Dryden was unable to clear the puck. And it was shot right back at him.
What we see coming off the back screen, Dryden doesn't see the puck come back. It comes back right to the middle, and Shadron drills it home right between a bewildered Dryden's legs.
21 seconds was that scoring play, a fast one by Shadron for the Soviets, and the Soviets lead 3-2. A totally unexpected score. Anderson coming down now for the Soviets, took a shot, it was wide of the net. Savard goes into the corner. He and LaPointe are out there on the defense. Savard to center ice. Going up, couldn't get over that line. cuts back, is knocked down when bodied on the play by Emerson, one of the kid line. Here's Canada in, a shot, and Petchak made the save on that far wing as Ellis went in. Another drive from the other side was way out. Henderson comes right back at center ice. Over the line, a drop pass to Clark, a shot. Petchak grabbed it, fell to the ice as Ellis cut across in front. And they're just going end to end here as fast as you can imagine.
We can see Petchak come up with a good save here on a good shot by the Canadian. Foster, I have to comment on that screen. We've talked about it a little bit, but of course it's a netting. It's not glass. And when the puck goes into it straight on, as it did on that initial shot, it comes back off the screen even faster than it goes towards it. And Dryden really had no chance to get his eye on the puck, and it was in the net before he could move.
18:45 left in the second period. 3-2 for the Soviets on a quick goal in 21 seconds by Shadron. The Soviets clear the puck down the ice, and it's called for icing. And it'll be brought back to the left of Petchak. This is the 8th and final game of this series. The two teams are tied, and anything can happen in this one. A slider goes right down again from the face-off. Going right down, Dryden touches it. Pat Stapleton is back of the net. He was a doubtful starter because of his ankle, but he's taking his part. Talon was dressed in case he wasn't ready. A long shot, and the puck goes off the boards. It's out to center ice. Stapleton recovered, and Rattel shoots it wide of the net. Dennis Hull into the corner, blocks Luchenko. Passed in front of his net over on the right side. Bekulov coming up over the line, couldn't get through. Dennis Hull took it off a skate, but didn't go after it. Dennis Hull stopped Luchenko partially, but he drove it in back of the Canadian goal. Going into the corner, dumping it back to Stapleton, number 3 for Canada. Pass to White, ahead to Rattel. Down this left wing for Gilbert. Over the line, Gilbert right in on goal, he shoots! Oh, and Petchak made a great save there as Gilbert played it perfectly. Now Mihailov trying to get away. 13. Blinoff on his left. No one on the right wing. Over on the right side. Now Petrov comes in with a shot as he was allowed to coast in there without any checking at all. Puck goes right back to Gusev at the blue line. Ahead on the left wing. 3 Soviets offside on the play. And it's called back for a face-off at the Soviet blue line. The Soviets leading 3-2 with 17:09 left in the second period.
In the first few minutes of this period, the play has opened up considerably, and this has probably been the fastest it's been since the game began.
F.Espozito out there now with Frank Mahovlich and Cornwallis. Bergman and Park, the defense. Bergman lobbed it over to Cornwallis. Cornwallis going in, couldn't get a shot away. Blinoff is chased into the corner, cleared out at center ice. A lob pass over on the right wing. Kuskin shot it into the corner. The puck is knocked back there in the corner. Frank Mahovlich passes back to Bergman. Bergman cleared it over to Cornwallis. Cornwallis is covered on the boards. It goes loose. Here's a chance right to Blinoff. And Blinoff elected to pass, and it went off his skate, came right back to center ice. And the Soviets are overpassing in this game. Another pass at center ice. Petrov goes in on the left wing. Blinoff on the right. Came in front of the net, but the pass didn't come that time. Frank Mahovlich down the left wing, showing a burst of speed. Goes in over the line, crossing over on the right wing. And Esposito had a direct shot, and Kuskin stopped it. A two-man break for the Soviets. Petrov, backhanded one that went harmlessly to the corner. It's on this wing. Blinoff's pass to Petrov with Cornwallis hooking his stick at the time. Park is stopped to one side of the Canadian goal. Coming back on the other side. Shot it ahead to Mahovlich, who fell. Cournoyer lobbed it over the line. Soviet coming back at center, three of them. Shadron was dumped. Yakushev couldn't follow through. Forward to Henderson. Henderson right in the goal. And he fired one wide with Yosef flying into the board. Cournoyer shot wide. And the Canadian team showing some real firing power there with a little erratic shooting. Puck back into the Soviet zone, and it's called for icing.
I think Paul Henderson is showing people some strength that no one really realized he had. When he came in on goal there, he fought off two checks and still managed to get the shot away. A good effort by Paul Henderson.
15:03 left in the second period. The Soviets leading Canada 3-2. Shadron has scored that third goal, 21 seconds of this period. Face-off will be with Clark covering. It goes to Savard. He lost it. The pass goes to the corner again. A cleared pass out to center by Ellis out there with Clark and Henderson. A lob shot goes into the Canadian zone. Lapointe shot it back to center. He's out there with Savard on the defense. Anderson now at center ice. Lobbing the pass, stopped by Ellis. Shadron intercepted. Gets it over to Anderson, who couldn't go across. Liapkin across to Yakushev. Yakushev 15, back to his blue line. And they're taking a second breath here. A long shot goes wide over the line. Dryden cleared it to the wing. He thought it was icing and nearly handed them a shot. Now Mikulov had Henderson covered on the play and had a chance there, but failed to follow through. Henderson ran into his check. Now Clark goes up with Ellis on the right. A long pass ahead of Ellis goes wide of the net. Yakushev. Henderson stopped him. Keeps that puck in there. Flipped it over to Clark. Here's back to a shot. Stopped as Lapointe let it go. Soviet Vasiliev to center ice. Shooting the puck into the corner. Going after it. Lapointe bumped him. Mikulov was held against the boards by Ellis. As Canada carry back, P.Mahovlich going up over on the line. Failed to get his shot. Now Ellis tears into the corner. Vasiliev lost it, and it goes back to the net. Soviet in possession. A block pass, getting it again, only to have Gilbert break it up as the players change on the go. Vasiliev covering up on the boards, and the play is stopped with 13:05 left in the second period. 3-2 for the Soviets.
Foster, I've just been informed that we are experiencing some video losses, and they're being experienced in our signal between Moscow and London, and we apologize to you for the interruption at home.
Ready for the face-off in the Soviet zone. Goes back on the wing. A roller. Mikulov lost it, but the Soviets come in on a rush. Here's a chance in front of the net as Gusev was bowled over as White took him right out of the play. P.Mahovlich carries back at center ice. He ran into Luchenko, was knocked over. Luchenko carries to safety back of the Soviet goal. Here's a shot by Stapleton, right in front for Gilbert. It hit a skate. Bill White goes in for a shot. It's blocked. Now another one by Rattel. Goes to Gilbert, right in front. And Kretschak stopped that one. To Gantov. Cleared to Mishikov. Over on the right side to Harlamov. Harlamov goes again. Here's a shot. Right, stopped that one. As the crowd are in a tremendous uproar as they go back and forth here with lightning speed. Change of players.
Well, Foster, this period so far with just 8 minutes gone by is just wide open hockey. And this is just a totally different game from what we've seen in that first period, which was interrupted almost every 30 seconds or so with a penalty.
Soviets leading 3-2, 12-11 left in the second period. Petrov was checked, but gets that puck again in the Canadian zone, shot it back to the net. Mihailov is beaten to it by Bergman. Bergman, number 2, goes back to the Canadian goal, Dryden in the net. Give it to F.Espozito, who's coming up with Poirier and Frank Mahovlich. He got as far as the Soviet line, couldn't get any farther. A lob pass to Mihailov, going in on that left wing. He passed, and it's intercepted. Park rushing back on the right side. Goes over the line with F.Espozito. Park shoots one wide. Poirier back to Mahovlich. F.Espozito was dumped on the play. And Park recovers at center ice with Mahovlich going in on the left side, centered it, and the pass is knocked down. A 3-man break for the Soviets. Petrov got the pass, gets the return, and Klinov was bowled over on the play. Canada coming back. Poirier and Mahovlich right in, and the shot was grabbed by Tretiak, and you don't try and want any closer than that. Tretiak was knocked right over on the play.
The best save of the night by either goaltender. How Tretiak stopped this puck off Ivan Cornelier, I don't know. He didn't catch it in the glove. He takes it up in his forearm. A tremendous save by Tretiak.
11:07 left in the second period. Soviets 3, Canada 2. Canada playing every man up. And there has been a penalty in this second period. Quite a different story from the first. They've settled down to straight hockey. Addison is covered on the board. And they're playing desperation hockey at this stage. The question, which team will break? A quick pass to Yakushev at center ice. To Addison on the right. Going in back to the net. Failed to center it. Henderson returns with Ellis over on the right side, and Shadron broke it up. The pass by Lapointe was knocked down by Shadron over to Addison. A long drive is wide of the Canadian goal. Forward pass to Henderson. His relay was intercepted, and the Soviet Yakushev failed to get the pass. It goes back to Lyapkin, and the two teams seem to be taking a breather at the moment. Vasiliev, number 6, goes back in front of his own goal, played one off Yakushev's skate. He carries down on the right side, weaving a bit, pass to Addison, and the shot was caught by Dryden. It was off the target, and another change of players at 10:05 of the second period.
Well, this 10 minutes in this period should well be the best hockey in this series so far. It's been wide open. Both teams have gone back and forth, and both the goaltenders have been called upon to make some great saves.
Lining up now with Mishakov over there on the left wing. There's Harry Sinden keeping a close lookout on things, and there's plenty happening. The Canadians break out with Д.Халл trying to get a long forward pass. Zagankov failed to clear. Mishakov goes back to his own net, number 12 for the Soviet. Moves to the blue line at center. Stopped, and Bill White laid one over to Д.Халл, who took a long shot, and Tretiak deflected that slap shot right into the crowd.
Harlamov, number 17, has taken his turn again out on the ice, but Foster, there's no way he's right. He's favoring one of his legs, and he's not going at 100% tonight.
Ready for the face-off in the Soviet zone. Rattel got the draw. Gilbert turns, waits, stands there, still backing up, takes his shot, is right in front of the door. Bill White deflected it into the net. Bill White from, and the score is all tied up. White from Gilbert to tie the score for Canada.
You won't see a more beautiful scoring play in hockey than this play by Bill White, set up perfectly by Rod Gilbert. Gilbert gives him the absolute perfect tip-in, and Bill White, mind you, as a defenseman, walks right in when he sees the opportunity and tips it into the net. An absolutely beautiful scoring play by Canada.
White was standing right on the edge of the goal crease when Gilbert had jockeyed that puck into a position, passed in front of the net, and White tipped it in to give Canada a 3-3 tie. at 10:32 of the second period. The puck is in play again. Canada on the move. Gilbert coming in again. Here's a chance. A shot by Rattel went wide. Gilbert fired one across the goal mouth. And Canada has the Soviet on the run in right in front of the net. A scramble. And Tretiak is down, hanging on for dear life as they were pouring in on him.
Canada's putting on tremendous pressure here, having just scored. And Rod Gilbert, if he just had been able to control the puck a little better, would have had another goal.
Ready for the face-off in the Soviet zone, and that's where it remains. Now they finally get it out on that left wing at center. They shoot it in this time. It's into the corner for Gilbert, number 8 for Canada. A flip pass. Rattel cuts back to Gilbert, over to P.Mahovlich. P.Mahovlich crosses the Soviet line, fired one, and missed the net. Then Pat Stapleton went in and was unable to get the roller. Gusev back of the Soviet goal. Frank Mahovlich steps on the ice. And Cornwallier coming in on the wing, passes back to Rattel. Rattel is checked. A two-man break for the Soviet. One man back. Here they're closing in. Mihailov shoots. And Dryden came up with a dazzling save on Mihailov, who was in there alone, and Dryden fell and covered up.
Spectacular save by Dryden here. Dryden has to keep his eye on both players coming down on him. The pass is slipped off to Mihailov. He lets a blistering shot go, and Dryden lunges across the net and takes it up in the upper body. A spectacular save by Ken Dryden.
8:21 left in the second period. Canada and the Soviets are tied 3-3. 8:21 left in the second period, and you hear that Canadian crowd really whooping it up. Canada carrying the play at this stage. Here's a roll right in front of the net. They score! Yakushev was right in front of the net. And there's that deadly shot again from close in to give the Soviet a 4-3 lead.
Yakushev has to be the Soviets' most dangerous player. He's parked right at the top of the goal crease. He's got Dryden at his mercy. He gives him a little fake and then flips it right along the ice. A beautiful goal by Yakushev.
Got that one from Shadron. He was right in front of the net after the face-off. And that goal was 11:43. Yakushev from Shadron. And now the Soviets take that lead again. Anderson's roller is covered by Dryden. And the Canadian team, up until then, had a clear-cut margin in the last 5 minutes of play. And then that one break on a face-off right around the Canadian goal.
Foster, in that first game in Canada, Harlamov was so impressive, but I have to believe now that Alexander Yakushev has to be the best hockey player on this Soviet team. He's a big, rangy left winger. He can skate, he can shoot, and he can handle that puck beautifully. And of course, he's the top scorer in this series.
The face-off will be to the left of Dryden, Shadron, Anderson, and Yakushev the line. The puck goes over to Ellis. 3 times the Canadian team have tied this score. Now the Soviets have taken the lead again, 4-3. But they're really in there fighting, and they're just about even on the play. The puck goes into the corner. The Soviets trying to center back. Vasiliev shot one that hit Savard on the back. Ellis into the corner, shoots it back to Savard. It's over onto the right wing. Canada on the attack at center ice, led by Clark. Over on the right wing, a shot by Ellis was knocked down. The Soviets try a 2-man break, and Henderson broke it up. Savard going back to get it. Soviet changing on the go. Here's a long pass over to Ellis. It slides to Petrov, and Petrov shot one at his own man, and Tretiak nearly had a heart attack there as he had to stop that one from his own player. 6:59 left in the second period. A 3 for the Soviets. Soviets 4, Canada 3. And it's just that kind of a game. 7 goals scored in about a period and a third.
It's interesting to observe in this whole series, there's only been one score that has been relatively low. The rest of the scores have all gone up, and of course, the explanation for that is that we have the top goal scorers from the National Hockey League representing Team Canada, and of course we know that almost any player on the Soviet team can score goals, and all of these games have seen a lot of goals go behind each goaltender.
There's no question, though, the best man on the ice so far in this game is Ben Yakashev. From the face-off, the puck rolls off to the side, a lob pass to Mihailov, ahead at center ice. Petrov fired one, Dryden stopped it, but that rebound keeps coming out in front. F.Esposito carrying back now with Frank Mahovlich on the left wing. Cournoyer in possession. Here's his shot. Tretiak had it bounce off the screen, grabbed it, and it's very confusing to the goalkeeper as that puck hits that netting, and it just bounces back about 20 feet and generally ends up in front of the net. Dryden was fooled on one of those rebounds off the screen. 4-3 for the Soviets. 6:36 left in the period. Canada in possession. Puck goes back to Cournoyer. He failed to tip it in front. Gusev for the Soviet in the corner. Lobbed one at center ice. A two-man break, but they got back in time to cover up on that play. Savard was able to get back there and get that puck between his knees as Lapointe was covering in front of the net, but it was a two-man break for the Soviets.
What we saw Serge Savard do there is all important for any defenseman when a man comes down on you 1-on-1. He played the man, not the puck. He took the player right out of the play. The puck went in between his feet. He eventually fell down and smothered it, but he played the man all the way.
From the face-off, the puck goes to the blue line, but not out. F.Esposito going with a pass behind the net. Bill White failed to get out on his pass. Mahovlich is forced into the corner, shooting it over to Bill White. Bill White across to Stapleton, ahead to Mahovlich, and the puck got away from him. Soviet return fast. Blinov. Here's Petrov coming in to Blinov at one side of the net, and that slider went wide. The Soviets get it again. Blinov over on the far wing. Here's a fake shot to Blinov in front of the net. He tipped it and rolled in front of the goal. And Dryden was away out of the net. And that was saved by F.Esposito, who slid in front of the net to cover that loose puck. Blinov had a great chance.
Dryden was beaten cleanly here. He was pulled right out of the net by Blinov. Blinov went to tuck it in the corner, and F.Esposito steals it right off his stick and prevents a goal against Canada. A great defensive effort by F.Esposito.
From the face-off, the Soviets get that draw again. Zagankov from the corner centered it. Stapleton shot it out, and it's going down, but it won't be called. Luchenko, number 3 for the Soviet, turning with Vishakov on the left. Here's a shot right off the bat as Canada intercepted. Gilbert had a drive that missed. Down the right wing for Maltsev. He goes into the corner, is knocked down. Stapleton is going to get a penalty. I'll bet they call it interference. It'll likely be a cross-check. With the score, the Soviets 4, Canada 3. This is Game 8 from Moscow. Stapleton off for cross-checking. That's one of the few times he hasn't called it interference. Time is 14:58. Second period. Soviets leading. Zagankov lobbed a pass in front. Dryden knocked it to the wing. Maltsev comes from the corner. Shot right across the goal, and it hit the side there. Dryden had his leg right in the right spot for it. It's Zagankov clearing. They have the odd man. A bad pass goes back to center ice. Soviet having the odd man advantage. Harlamov, who's working under wraps in this game, gets over on that left wing. Maltsev comes over the line. There's the pass to Harlamov. The pass went right across the goal mouth. Zagankov into the corner. Shot one in front. Bill White broke it up. Peter Mahovlich carries back at center ice. Shot it back to Bill White. Bill White lobbed it down the ice, and F.Espozito is stepping out to replace Clark. He's out there with P.Mahovlich killing off the penalty. Maltsev at center, showed a burst of speed, keeps on going, was thrown off stride. Mahovlich shoots it down the ice, and he's replaced by Ellis. And they replace players in this game when they're about 25 feet away from the penalty from the bench. The referee is going to catch somebody one of these times. A long pass on the right side. Mihailov was slugged there by Bergman. Yakushev goes back to the blue line, trying to draw his man away. Yakushev still has it on that far side. Passes back on the boards. There's that tic-tac-toe passing play. Vasiliev is going to take a shot. There'll be another penalty on the play. They shoot, they score. Shadron deflected it into the net. Shadron deflected that one into the net.
Vasiliev, number 6, has Triton at his mercy, and all the time Shadron is walking right in towards the post and takes the tip in and buries the shot for a very, very important goal in this game.
With the score, the Soviets 5, Canada 3. This is game 8 from Moscow. An argument back there, there was going to be a Canadian penalty handed out, but because the Soviets scored, the penalty, of course, will not be called. The crowd are getting a bit upset about that, but that's the rule. The referees, though, don't seem to be too sure because they were going to put a Canadian player off regardless. Now the argument starts down here now as to what's going to happen. 3:16 is left in the second period. The Soviets have taken a 2-goal lead. The first time a team has had a 2-goal lead in the game tonight. On the Canadian scoring play at 10:32 of the second period, scored by White, Gilbert and Rattel were given assists. Rattel was added. From the face-off, the puck goes into the Soviet zone. Soviets leading 5-3 with 3 minutes and 3 seconds remaining with Frank Mahovlich shooting it wide of the net. Gusev shot one ahead. Blinoff deflected it into the crowd. And the face-off is going to be to the left of Fritjak.
Coming up in our second period intermission, I'll comment on a feature called The Moscow That Was. Pat will get some comments from Punch Imlach as well as Bobby Orr, and Howie Meeker will review the highlights.
From the face-off, it's kept in there. Lapointe had a shot that was blocked to the defense. Another two-man break. Mihailov coming in. Pass back to Petrov. And a great save there on a three-way passing play. Back comes Canada at center. Out over the line. And they're being outplayed at this stage by the Soviets. It's a cleared pass off a skate. Comes in over the line. Kuskin is blocked by Cornwallis with F.Espozito helping out. Gusev had a pass blocked by Cornwallis coming in on that side. He tried to dig it out for F.Espozito, and then Mahovlich shot one wide from the other side. Savard into the corner, trying to dig it out. Here's Cornwallis coming in with a shot. Here it went loose. Another chance. It's going to be a penalty call here now. With a score, the Soviets 5, Canada 3. This is game 8 from Moscow. Kuskin is going in the penalty box for the Soviet for elbowing at 18:06. So the Canadian team, for one of the few times, will have the odd man advantage. Soviets leading 5-3. And Shadron has had 2 goals for the Soviets, and so has Yakushev. Puck is taken back into the Canadian zone park. Let's Esposito pick it up. Esposito 7. Esposito at the blue line. They're moving up slowly at center. Over on the wing to Henderson. Out there with Ellis on the right. Puck goes back to the net. Henderson trying to dig it out. Lutsenko covered him, but Park gets it back to the blue line. Stapleton to Park. Park stands there trying to draw his check. Back to Stapleton at the blue line. Over to Esposito, and it deflected off his stick and went into the crowd. 1:16 left in the second period. 5-3 for the Soviets with 1:22 left in the Soviet penalty.
What Canada hasn't been able to do when they have had the extra man advantage is establish good puck control with their power play in the offensive zone.
Ready for the face-off. It comes back at center ice. Pat Stapleton, number 3 at center. Shot one into the corner. Ellis after it. It bounced off the boards. Vasiliev failed to clear. A fake shot goes into the corner. Ellis trying to dig it out to Phil Esposito in front of the net. And Esposito deflected one wide. Henderson back to Stapleton. Over on the wing. Here's the shot. Wide of the net. The Soviet really under pressure. And Henderson fell. Now Vasiliev is covered by Henderson in the corner. Shadron goes in to help. And the play is stopped with 39 seconds remaining in the period. And Henderson really like a lightning bolt going in that corner to cover his man 2 or 3 times. A change of players.
Just a reminder to hockey fans at home viewing these games, you can participate in voting for the most valuable player on Team Canada by sending the name of your choice to Box 5050 in Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver. The winner, as selected by the fans, will receive the Labatt Best on Ice Award. Ballots are available from any Labatt representative.
Esposito, Cornwallier, and P.Mahovlich out there for Canada. The puck goes around back of the net. Liapkin shoots it off the boards. Petrov went after it. Goes right down the ice with Lapointe going into the corner for Canada. P.Mahovlich is cutting in front of him, picking off the pass. Down the right boards. Still going. Coming in on the right side, back of the net was checked. It hit the screening. P.Mahovlich in the opposite corner gets it out to Esposito. His shot hit the Soviet player. He gets it again. He's carried in on the side by Lutsenko, and the Soviets shoot it down, and the period is over. With the score, the Soviets 5, Canada 3. This is Game 8 from Moscow. Two teams back on the ice for the start of the third and last period, and of course the score, the Soviets 5, Canada 3. It was 2-2 at the end of the first period. Yakushev and Lutsenko scoring for the Soviets. Phil Esposito and Park for Canada. Canada outshot the Soviets 14-12. In the second period, Shadron scored first in 21 seconds. Then Bill White tied it up for Canada from Gilbert and Rattel. Yakushev put the one up again from Shadron at 11:43. And then Shadron from Vasiliev gave the Soviets a 2-goal advantage at 16:44. And that's the way the period ended, with the Soviets leading Canada 5-3. Only 2 penalties in that second period. 1 to Canada, 1 to the Soviets, and the Soviets outshot Canada 10-8.
Well, Foster, I think when Pat Marsden said that it was 5-3 for Canada, he was really expressing the sentiments of all of us. I think that Team Canada can get back in this game, in this period, and maybe before it's over, Canada will be ahead.
All ready now for the face-off with the Soviets to the right, Canada to the left. Ellis takes a long shot at Tretiak right off the bat. He's out of the goal crease, was down on his knees. Gusev was there to protect him, and the face-off is going to be to the left of the Soviet goal.
I think in this period you'll probably see Tretiak smother the puck as often as possible. He doesn't want to take any chances that he might lose it and that Team Canada will get good possession in his end. So I think we can look forward to seeing him smothering the puck at almost any opportunity. He's quite confident that if they have to take a face-off in their end, that his players and his defense especially can get the puck out without any trouble.
And getting ready now for the face-off. Henderson was clipped over the eye and was patched up there on the bench. The Canadian team playing every man up. Is the third and last period, divided into two 10-minute periods. Yakushev breaks out at center, a great speed, gets it over on the wing, the shot. And Dryden went down low to cover on Anderson's shot. But that Yakushev certainly is a speedster. He outstepped everybody there, laid over the pass to Anderson, and the face-off will be to the left of Dryden.
Dryden has to make a tremendous save here because, again, he has to keep his eye on two players.
Cleared out to Ellis at center ice. Ellis going over the line. Couldn't get a shot on goal. Mak was cruising in back of the net. There's a dump there to Vasiliev, who went flying on a check. Here's a quick shot by Anderson. Away wide of the net. Vasiliev keeping it in the blue line to the corner. Another pass in front to Anderson. Anderson holds his ground. Two Canadians went down. Here's a shot by Vasiliev wide and missed the net. Quick pass to Mak. Frank Mak passed back to the point. He shot it over the line in back of the net. And the Soviets recover with Cornwallis mixing it up back of the net. It's up to center ice, over to Mihailov. Bill White stopped his pass, cleared to F.Espozito, and is grabbed off again by Yakushev, passing to Petrov, who couldn't get up in time to get a shot. They move into the corner. The puck is deflected by Cornwallis. Petrov getting it again, made the pass, and Canada recover. Pass by P.Machowicz. A slider goes to Tretiak, and he way out in front of the goal crease, went down on his knees, and covered on the play.
Again, Tretiak not giving Team Canada any chance on any possible rebound, or not giving them chance to gain control of the puck in the corners, smothers it, and sets up another face-off.
Puck goes into the corner from the face-off. Soviets leading 5-3. Shadron got that pass up to Gusev. Gusev, too, at center, over to Mihailov. Mihailov made the pass, intercepted by Cornwallis to F.Espozito, who failed to get away, and the shot was wide. Klinov is forced into the opposite corner. Mak blocked him. Puck goes back of the net. Bill White to Stapleton. Stapleton cleared ahead to P.Machowicz. Banged off a skate. Now he clears it on the wing. Cornwallis to P.Machowicz. Coming down the right wing. Keeps on going into the corner. Is bumped back to the net. Centered in front. Here's the Esposito. He's a goal! Esposito! Esposito scored for Canada from P.Machowicz.
If you don't succeed the first time, try again. F.Esposito can't get the first shot through, and he just drills the second one right between Tretiak's legs, and F.Esposito is the big man again.
2:27.
P.Machowicz does a lot of work in the corner here. He sets it up. Now Esposito has to bang it once and then again, and he gets Tretiak right off guard.
From the face-off, the puck is cleared into the Soviet zone. Soviets leading 5-4, and Canada trying to make a real comeback here. F.Esposito from P.Machowicz. 2:27 was the time. Now the Soviets get a two-man break, and Maltsev overskated the puck. Maltsev 10 at center ice. Over onto the far wing. Ishikov's drive is high and wide. Gilbert into the corner. A quick pass to the blue line. Д.Халл. A pass to Gilbert on the right. He faked the shot. Goes into the corner, centered one. It goes off Maltsev's stick over onto the far side. Stapleton broke up the play. Zagankov back in his own zone. Shot it on the boards. Nikolov going up on the left wing. A shot. Dryden kicked it out, a rebound. And it's Rattel knocking it to the side. Soviet recover again. Passing back to the blue line. Zagankov shot. Dryden stopped it. And then covered up on the loose puck on the side of the net. 16-19 left in the third. Here's a fight in front of the Canadian goal. there, struggling with the Soviet player, Mishakov. Now then, Gilbert swings at him. Mishakov goes back at him, and the two of them go down again. This is the first fight in the game, and you can feel the tension almost everywhere as the players loop around. And the Soviet fans are usually whistling, you hear that. But the referee is in the middle of the pack, and no player really did anything on it.
Well, we know one thing for sure, Foster, that Rod Gilbert definitely got a good punch in because Mishakov has a bloody nose there, and there's no question that Gilbert dinged him a good one.
With the score, the Soviets 5, Canada 4. This is game 8 from Moscow.
12 номер советская сборная.
Gilbert and Mishakov off together. Mishakov is in the penalty box now. Gilbert, number 8, is going into the bench. He's saying something both to the referee and to Mishakov, but they're talking back to one another, but they really need an interpreter.
This is an interesting call here because it was my understanding that if you did fight in international hockey, you not only got the 5-minute penalty, but you were kicked out of the game. So it appears that there's been some liberalization of that rule for this series because they're both getting major penalties, but it doesn't appear that either one of them is going to have to leave the game.
Well, you're getting quite a weird interpretation of the rules almost every time because when a man is put out of the game, he generally gets a 10-minute penalty. But that didn't happen in Parisi's case. Now we have a situation where generally if it's a fight, you're thrown out for the game and that's it. But they're both in here and they both have major penalties, 5 minutes each. 16-19 left in the game as the puck comes back to Lyapkin. They're 5 aside. The shot is wide. Vasiliev keeps it in there. Shadron from the corner, coming from the side, took a shot, and Dryden covered up as he slid to one side. Bergman failed to get out. Here's Yakushev getting that puck back to Lyapkin. Lyapkin shoots away wide of the net, but Yakushev goes right over to get it. Finally, Bergman played it out over the line. Clark and Henderson are trying to kill off the penalty for Canada. Now Clark steals the puck. He's jumped by Vasiliev. Vasiliev will get a penalty there for tripping. And for the first time in the game, the Soviets will play 2 men short to Canada's 1.
An interesting call there, Foster, because Vasiliev hit Bobby Clark with a tremendous hip check. Now he ends up getting a tripping penalty, but they were very upset at the call.
4:27 is the time of the penalty to Vasiliev for tripping. And the Soviets will have 2 men in the penalty box. Canada 1, 16:33 or 15:33 left in the game. Of course, we'll have a break at 10 minutes and change ends, which is normal in international rules. From the face-off, Lutsenko carries into the corner. Henderson and F.Espozito had him covered. They'll face off again in the Soviet zone. Canada playing every man up. The puck goes rolling off to the side. Zagankov shot it around on the left boards. He's covered there by Park, and there was no further play. The score, Soviets 5, Canada 4, and Canada threatening to tie it up.
Canada is trying to establish that all-important puck control here with that extra man. The Soviets only having 3 men to cover that large ice surface. If they can get good control, then they can start to move it around and get that scoring chance they need to tie this game up.
Petrov is the lone player for the Soviet, the forward. Park gets back quickly. Made a bad pass there, which is recovered by Lapointe. And Lapointe is now turning, coming up over the line. Canada with 5 men attacking 4. They have that odd man as Park goes into the corner. A bad pass. The Soviets break out with Petrov coming down on the left side. Getting in fast and shot went wide. And that was close. Zagankov keeps it in. Goes back to the Canadian goal. Quick pass to F.Espozito, who failed to get very far. Park played it over at center ice. 3-man drive over the line. Henderson's pass is knocked down, kicked out, and Park has to wait for Lapointe to get onside. Lapointe ahead to Esposito, going in on the left wing. Played it back to the blue line. Over to Park. Park stands there. He shoots one wide. Henderson from the corner is checked by Zagankov, who covered up in the corner. And the face-off will be to the left of the Soviet goal. And as Bergman goes over to check on the Canadian penalty.
Canadian professional football will return to television Saturday, September the 30th, as the Toronto Argonauts host the Edmonton Eskimos. Then on Sunday, October the 1st, 2 games. In the east, Hamilton is at Ottawa, while Saskatchewan is at Calgary in the west. Check your local listings for time and stations.
14:04 left in the third period. That means 4 minutes and 4 seconds before they change ends on the 10-minute break. From the face-off, Cornwallier nearly got a chance here. He gets that puck again back to the blue line. F.Esposito passed in front of the net. Cornwallier missed the pass that didn't arrive, and F.Esposito lobbed one wide. In the right front of it, he shoots! Oh, what a chance Rattel had right in front of the net. And the Soviets shoot it down the ice. Rattel had the tying goal in his mitt there and was over-anxious on the play. F.Esposito carrying up now, lobbed it over the line. They're closing in. Lapointe passed it. The Soviets have 1 man back, so they're even on sides, 5 aside. Each one has a man in the penalty box. And they're staggering out there. They're giving so much.
Foster, I just about jumped out of the broadcast booth on that. I thought that Jean Rattel had him cold turkey. I didn't see how he could miss, and he drilled the shot wide. I couldn't believe it.
Both teams changing. Soviets leading 5-4, 13:26. There's Jean Rattel that had that tying goal practically in his mitt, but he was over-anxious. A roller comes back. Here's a shot by Dennis Hull that hit Shadron. It caromed off him and caught Liapkin as he went down low.
I might also add that we'll be going to Prague, Czechoslovakia, where Team Canada will play the Czech national team this Saturday afternoon. Also check your local listings for the time and station.
On the face-off, the Soviets get that puck at Shadron at center ice to Yakushev. He's the dangerous man. The puck rolls at the defense. Canada carrying it back with a long pass over to Dennis Hull. He's going on into the corner. Vasiliev beat him to the puck. Dennis Hull grabbed at him. The puck is back to the net, and it's Yakushev down the left wing. Laid over a pass to Shadron. He's partially stopped. He goes in on the boards and covered with Bill White playing it over on the far side to Stapleton, who's working under handicap with a bad ankle. A long shot went over the net, bounced in front. They whacked at it. Shadron taking it to the corner. Shadron lost it to Bill White in front of the net, and White failed to get a shot away when Vasiliev shoved him off and took him off balance. On this right wing, Ellis is trying to go in on the right side with Clark. Shadron goes into the corner. Clark after him. He covered, and so did Ellis. 5-4 for the Soviet. 12:09 left in the game. 50 seconds left in the 2 penalties.
Foster, I might mention at this point that over the 4 games in Moscow here, many of the Soviet top officials have been in attendance at the game. Of course, we've had Nikolai Podgorny, the president of the USSR, and Leonid Brezhnev, the head of the Communist Party. We have not shown them to you because our cameramen are hesitant to take pictures of them when it is a non-state occasion.
All ready for the face-off in the Soviet zone. Bill White tapped it ahead. The shot was blocked. Clark trying it, going into the corner. Went off stride. Gusev sticks with him. Clark goes back to the net, trying to dig it out. He's still fighting for it. Mihailov is covered by Ellis. And Guskin goes in back to the net. And a forward goes back to the defense. Mihailov, 13 for the Soviet. Over to Kuskin. Bill White intercepted. Played it on the left wing to Clark. Mihailov skated him off. Goes into the corner for the Soviet. Still Esposito coming out as a replacement to Clark. Soviet played back to their own defense. Now the teams are at full strength. 11:15 left as Mishakov comes down the right side, closing in. Oh, and Petrov took a slice at the puck and missed it. He was uncovered on the play. Cornwallis played it over to P.Mahowicz. Out there with F.Esposito. Cornwallis at center. A long shot off the screen at the back of the net. Gusev just covered it against the boards. And the reserves are coming out repeatedly in this last period.
The Soviet team is just checking unbelievably closely right now, and Team Canada is having some difficulty in getting some skating room and some stick handling room to move that puck around to get a good scoring chance.
5-4 for the Soviets. That's Mishakov, number 12. He was in the fight with Gilbert. The only one really of the game. And really of the series. All ready for F.Esposito at center. The puck is recovered by Esposito. He slashed out of the bag in and around the net. Cornwallis trying to dig it from the side. Couldn't. Bergman took a shot that goes back to the net. Here's a mix-up. Esposito was knocked down in front of the goal. Maltsev comes down the left wing. Blocked at the defense, but shot anyway. Park taking it into the corner. Park covered his man. F.Esposito cleared at center to Cornwallis. Cornwallis faked the shot. Made a pass too wide for P.Mahowicz, who goes back to the net. He's coming out in front. Goes to the defense to Bergman. Bergman failed to get a shot. He took his man down. And from the side, the Soviet tried to clear out. Here's Maltsev coming down with Mishakov on the left. A shot. Dryden saved on that. And the play is called. With the score, the Soviets 5, Canada 4. This is game 8 from Moscow. From the face-off, the puck goes back at center ice as the beginning of the second 10-minute session here in the last period. They have 10 minutes left before the end of the game. Soviets still leading 5-4. They've changed ends. Canada to the right, the Soviets to the left. The puck is at center ice. Д.Халл gets it over on the left wing to Lapointe. He's clearing past as Gilbert goes to the corner. It hit a skate, goes back to the net. They grab each other's sticks. Rattel had a hold of Petrov. He had a hold of him, and Blinov goes in front of his own net. Skates over onto the right wing to the blue line. Took a bump from Д.Халл. He stopped. Rattel goes in with Д.Халл, and it's offside on the play. Of course, there's no overtime regardless, whether it's a tie score or not. 8:58 left in the game, 5-4 for the Soviets. The only one goal scored in this third period so far, F.Esposito from P.Mahowicz at 2:27. There go the Canadian rooters again. They never stop. And neither does Team Canada. Clark, Ellis, and Henderson out there for Canada. Bill White and Stapleton the defense. Anderson, Shadron, and Yakushev for the Soviets. Stapleton played a pass to Henderson. He shot it onto the boards. Vasiliev goes back to the net. Stopped. Gets that puck loose. Stapleton came up to block it. Stick handles. Couldn't get any farther. And Anderson recovers at center ice. Clark took it from him, goes down the right wing, and fired a shot that was easy. Vasiliev is taken in the boards by Henderson. Soviet shoot a forward pass that Ellis stopped. Clark at center ice. Still has it. Clark played it over to Henderson, and it's offside on the play with 8:11 left in the game. Soviets leading 5-4.
The Soviets, of course, with that one-goal lead, will now try for puck control. Team Canada will have to get the puck back. They have to get the puck up the ice because they need several good chances before they're going to get that goal.
From the face-off, Clark got the puck back to the Canadian blue line. Stapleton, number 3, you just saw him a moment ago, as the puck goes back to Vasiliev. It's in the Soviet offensive zone. They pass it back and forth. Vasiliev lost it. He failed to clear it out. Ellis, as Gilbert got his shot there. He's out there now. Clearing pass at center ice. And Stapleton lobbed one over the line. They're changing. F.Esposito is out there with P.Mahovlich. And Ellis is out there too as the puck goes into the corner. As they go back to the net, Canada covering up to one side of their own goal. The puck is loose. Bill White covered his man against the boards with the help of Ellis, and they'll make further changes, both teams, on this break. Bill White and Stapleton being replaced. Bergman going back out there. You see the Soviet players, they're not too perky as they skate off. Shadron and Yakashev. So the strain has been terrific on the two teams. Bobrov giving them a speech as they come off. Now they're all set now. Mishakov, a setter, knocked the puck back to the Canadian goal. Park is trying to come out on the left side. A long pass to F.Esposito going in. He shoots! Oh, right in front of the net. Esposito banged that. Here's another shot by Cornwallis. His goal! Canada has tied it up. The Canadian team grabbing each other there as a loose puck went around the net. And Canada tied it finally 5-5.
Esposito makes an incredible individual effort on this goal. I can't say enough. Look at him fight for the puck. He gets it back out in front of the net after having missed it once himself. And I believe it's Ivan Cornwallis who gets the goal. F.Esposito, once he digs for it now and he keeps fighting. He gets it out. It's shot. And Cornwallis puts the backhander into the goal. Now we see a fight breaking out along the boards.
A mix-up on the far side. The Canadian team are mixing it up with the spectators, and I believe Alan Eagleson is in on it over there as far as we can tell. And the Canadian team are all over there. When that rumpus started, or whatever it was, nobody knows. But Canada tied that score at 12:56. And it appeared to be Cornwallis who got the goal. There's a wild scramble around the Soviet net. Apparently, the police were trying to throw Eagleson out. And that's when the reserves from the Canadian team came over there to help out. So that scoring play will likely be Cornwallis from Esposito. Cornwallis seemed to be the hero of it as a wild scramble around the net. It'll be between Esposito and Cornwallis as they both whacked at the puck before they finally knocked it past Pritchak. And they have 7 minutes and 4 seconds left in the game of 5 all time.
What a great effort by F.Esposito. I have never seen Esposito play this type of hockey. I have to believe that Esposito is playing the greatest hockey of his career so far.
with the score Canada 5 and the Soviets 5. This is game 8 from Moscow. The goal was given to Cornwallis from Esposito and Clark. A wild scramble around the net. Cornwallis getting the goal, Esposito and Clark assisting at 12:56. But there was heavy traffic around that Soviet goal before Cornwallis was able to poke it home after Phil Esposito had a chance, and so had Clark. It was a great effort, a real team effort all the way, and now Canada moved up into a tie with the Soviets, a 5-5 tie. And the Canadian players are buoyed up terrifically by that 5th goal for Canada. They claim now that Park will likely get an assist as well as Esposito instead of Clark. But it was that kind of a goal that everyone seemed to be in it. So it's Cornwallis from Esposito and Park. The puck is in the Soviet zone and slides out to Savard, who comes back on that far wing, shooting it wide of the Soviet goal. It's lobbed, and Henderson broke it up, only to have Liapkin try to get it out. He's helped by Vasiliev, who goes down the right side. Vasiliev going in back of the net. Lapointe had him covered, but the pass goes to the corner again. Vasiliev shot it back to Anderson, who centered it out. Yakushev comes in with a backhand wide. Anderson shot one. It's deflected. Tapped over onto the wing. Henderson breaks out on the right wing, going in with his shot. And it bounced off Tretiak's glove. Another shot goes wide. Vasiliev shoots it back to the net, right in front of the goal. Here's Ellis, and he couldn't control the puck. Ellis has it in the corner. Back, and Lapointe cleared it back to center ice. A loose puck goes to Yakushev. One man back as Lapointe is back. Here's a shot. And the drive went over the top of the net. Canada failed to get that puck out. Mihailov had his shot blocked. Savard clears it over to Rattel. Rattel bringing it out over the line. Ahead to Gilbert. Gilbert failed to get a shot. Mihailov coming back. As a race for it, Stapleton got back in time to break it up on a change of players. 5:02 left in the game, a 5-all tie. Stapleton lobbed one into the Soviet zone. It's off the boards. Rattel shot it wide. Soviet trying to get out on the right side. Clearing up at center ice. Rattel over the line, 4:42 left in the game, and the Soviets arguing about the call. At the same time, Д.Халл is going into the penalty box. Petrov is going to follow. Д.Халл and Petrov going off together. So they'll play 5 aside. 15:24 is the time of the double penalty. It's a tie score, 5-all. 4:36 left in the game.
Number 16, USSR, 2-minute penalty for elbowing.
High sticking to Д.Халл and elbowing to Petrov. Now Sagankov feeds the pass. Soviet player stopped by Bergman. Park going back to get it with Cornwallis on the right side. Cornwallis got the tying goal from Esposito and Park at 12:56. Puck is in the Soviet zone. They're bringing it out. A long pass. Bounded off into the corner, and it's offside as Sagankov was coming in on the right wing. His teammate was about 25 feet offside. in front of the Canadian goal. P.Mahovlich coming out on the forward line with F.Esposito. Cornwallier is going to get a rest. Bergman and Park, the Canadian defense. Yakushev is on that left wing. Shadron at center. They're 5 aside. 4:10 left in the game, a 5-all tie. And the two teams are at the breaking point. They've given just about everything. Park goes in back of the net. Stands there, starts to make his move. Coming up now at the blue line to Esposito, who had to kick it back, and he turns again. Esposito to center ice, going in on the defense, failed to get a shot. It rolls over on the wing. Here's a shot wide by P.Mahovlich. A roller on the right wing. Shadron clearing it into the corner to Lechenko. Lechenko shoots it out off the boards. Bergman coming down, beats the Soviet player. Then Yakushev in the center ice area to Sagankov. Intercepted by P.Mahovlich. Skates over on the left wing. He's going in on a dangerous rush, but failed to get through. Brought back by Sagankov on the right wing. Over the line, a drop pass for Shadron. Across at the blue line, a long shot. Bounced off the player, Park. Carries it out at center ice. Over the line, Bergman right in. And his shot was stopped by Tretiak. A clearing pass over on the left side to center ice. 2:51 left in the game. The Soviet player Yakushev tried to hurdle in and was dumped on the play. The point covers up in the corner, and the face-off is going to be to the right of the Canadian goal. A 5-all tie. 2:41 remaining in the game.
A great check here. You see Alexander Yakushev. He stumped very cleanly by two Canadian players, but look at how quickly he got back up on his feet.
5 seconds left in the double penalty as they line up in the Canadian zone. Canada gets the draw. Now they start to make the move. Savard laid over the pass to Ellis and shot right back to Lapointe. Lapointe played it off the boards to Henderson, and it was offside. They're still changing. Petrov is out there now. The teams are at full strength. Petrov at center ice. Glinov on the left wing. Mihailov on the right. Gusev and Kuskin, the defense, playing up. Standing out Clark, Ellis, and Henderson. 2:26 left in the game, a 5-all tie. Mihailov and Henderson were too close to the face-off. Now they drop the puck. It goes loose back to the blue line. Kuskin shot. Dryden stopped it even though it wasn't on the net. Savard played it over on the wing to Ellis. He failed to get out. Savard shot it out the second time. Soviet bring it in. Petrov back to the blue line. He's checked. Henderson carries out with Ellis the bad pass. The Soviet coming in. Mihailov is forced into the corner. Centered it. Savard blocking it. Pulled away from Glinov, but didn't get the puck out. Mihailov from the side. Cleared it out. Here's a shot. Dryden had it bounce off his arm. And Mihailov and Ellis are doing a little threatening on the side. 1:48 left in the game. A 5-all tie. You see Clark there, 28. Glinov is to one side.
Dryden's called upon here to make a big save. Even though he stops the puck, it bounces very high. He loses sight of it, but it's well out of range of the net.
They're still taking a lot of time now in making player changes. They're a tired bunch, and they have a right to be. Both teams have given everything, and it's been one of the best games I think I've ever seen. A 5-all tie, 1:48 left in the game. This is the 8th and final game of the series. They're still all tied up. The Canadian team have made 2 or 3 changes here before they finally send out Cornwallier on the right wing. F.Eспозито and П.Маховлич. Shadron is at center ice. Maltsev on the right wing as they get ready for a very important face-off. Canada gets the draw. П.Маховлич skates up, clears it over to Cornwallier. It's away offside on the play, but it was worth the chance. So the puck comes right back to the face-off in the same spot.
Both teams seem prepared to put one man well up and try for that breakaway pass that might just break the game wide open. But Team Canada has to be very careful that they don't get trapped with that man breaking, because the next goal will be the key one.
Canadian team went into a huddle there, which seemed to be a little unusual. So they're really fighting. The puck comes up at center ice. Vasiliev carries it back into his zone to Shadron, who missed it. П.Маховлич is at center, driving it into the Soviet zone. Liapkin gets there first. Cornwallier just touched it, that's all. Savard getting it at center ice, clearing it off a skate. It goes into the Canadian zone. Yakushev, a dangerous player, is belted on that play. Cornwallier rolled it out. Vasiliev going back to get it. 1:02 left in the game. Cleared pass on the far side. Liapkin rolled one to Savard. Savard cleared the pass to Stapleton. He cleared to the open wing to Cornwallier. Cornwallier took a shot. The defenseman fell over, Liapkin. And the Cornwallier has it on that wing. Here's a shot. Henderson made a wild stab for it and fell. Here's another shot. Right by the score. Henderson has scored for Canada. Henderson right in front of the net. And the fans of the team are going wild. Henderson right in front of the Soviet goal with 34 seconds left in the game. An absolute mob scene over Paul Henderson, as there should be, but you can't underrate the effort again of F.Esposito. He gets the puck, he fights for it, he gets it back in front of the net, but it's Paul Henderson who's parked there. He bangs at it, and he beats Tretiak cleanly with an absolutely fantastic goal, and this crowd is going wild. Here it is again. Now look at F.Esposito. All hard in here. Now watch him work to set this up. Henderson missing his first chance. Now Esposito fires it back, and Henderson dumps that puck right in the net for a beautiful goal. 1926 is the time of Canada's 6th goal. Canada 6. The Soviets 5. 34 seconds away from a championship. A long rolling pass goes over the line into the Soviet zone. Piston played it over onto the side. A pass to Mihailov. He drives it into the corner. Bill White going back, shoots it out. It's going down the ice. It's not called for icing. Puskin with 12 seconds comes back. 8 seconds at center. A long shot by Gusev. Dryden played it back to the goal. 2 seconds. The game is over, and Canada have won the series. They defeated the Soviets 6-5 in a really hard-fought tussle here. And to show the quality of the Canadian team, they were able to win 3 out of 4 on Moscow ice, which shows the caliber of their power play that came back. Canadian teams redeemed themselves from a very slow start in Canada. When they weren't in shape, they kept getting better and better and better, and they fought like tigers tonight to come right through and defeat the Soviets 6-5 and win the series.
Well, then they're going through the handshaking. Team Canada obviously elated, the Russians dejected, and I must say, Foster, is that both these teams played so well. It's a shame that anybody had to lose, but I can't say enough about Team Canada. It was uphill right from the second they left Canada. In fact, right from the start of the series, because they had to overcome conditioning all along. And I can't say enough for the effort, the total effort by every player on the team. And I don't really think you can single anybody out, although some did play so well, because it was a team effort, and they came back in such a magnificent way, and they won it in a magnificent way as well.
When you have to come from behind a 2-goal lead, as they did, it showed their spirit, their ability, and everything else. So that Canada wins the series with 4 wins, 1 loss, rather 1 tie, and 3 losses. 4 wins, 1 tie, and 3 losses. So that the most redeeming feature of it was that Canada won it on Moscow ice, having won 3 of the 4 games on the road.
And here come the 2 top Canadian players as selected by top Soviet officials. Paul Henderson, of course, with that great winning goal. Brad Park, who played magnificently on defense, but I don't think you can just pick 2 stars. F.Espozito had to have played one of his greatest games ever if he plays hockey till he's 100. They, of course, are receiving gifts from the Soviet official, Colonel Georgy Mosilov, who is the president of the Soviet Ice Hockey Federation.
Well, with the final score, Canada 6 and the Soviets 5. This is Game 8 from Moscow.